This is Jason Gonzalez with SecondsOut.com, here with none other than Mr. Tom Loeffler, head of K2 Promotions. How are you, sir?
Doing great. Anytime you could be here at Madison Square Garden promoting a Triple G fight, it's a great day. We're excited about this fight week. We're excited about the return of Triple G. And there's a lot of new changes in his career. Steve Rolls, you just saw you saw this huge upset last Saturday night with Andy Ruiz becoming a unified heavyweight champion. So you can't underestimate an undefeated fighter like Steve Rolls, who's very hungry. You got Ali Akhmedov as a co-feature, who we saw here at the press conference. You got Brian Sabayo, who's local here from Brooklyn, New York. It's going to be a great show, and the Triple G show, the big drama show. He knows he's got to win. He knows he's got to be impressive, and one of the big reasons he signed with DAZN is they told him that's the clearest path for a third fight with Canelo. That's what the fans are demanding. They want to see a third fight. A lot of the fans, just like we are, weren't satisfied with the decision in the last fight, and so we'll see. But there's no talk of a future fight, whether it's Canelo or a different fight, unless he beats Steve Rolls.
Now, Tom, the narrative of Gennady being on a decline has been put out there. Objectively speaking, do you see that, or do you think that was just a matter of Gennady stepping up in opposition?
I don't think there's a decline at all. Look, I think it's pretty clear that he won the first fight, regardless of two of the scorecards. Clearly won the first fight, and the majority of the fans and the media thought he either won or had a draw in the second fight. So when you're fighting a guy, I don't know how old Canelo is now, 29 years old, and arguably you beat him twice or have a win and a draw, I don't know what's declining about that when you're 37 years old. You know, he didn't knock him out like he did many of his other opponents, but nobody's going to knock out Canelo, at least not in the near term. He's become a tremendous fighter. I think he learned a lot from the Triple G fights. You saw that with his dominance over Denny Jacobs. And I don't see any decline at all. I see Triple G in sparring and training, and I think the fans will see his style Saturday night against Steve Rolls.
Okay. Steve Rolls is 35 years old, has 19 fights, somewhat of a slow development. He's also an unusual opponent. How did you guys come about choosing Steve Rolls as Gennady's dance partner on June 8th?
Look, we went through a lot of names. A lot of the higher profile names weren't available for this date in June. And then as we went down the names, the fact that he was undefeated, the fact that he was from Canada, DAZN liked that to increase their subscription base up there in Canada. He's from Toronto. We didn't realize the Raptors would be in the NBA Finals right now, but you know, it's a great narrative. And whenever you have an undefeated fighter who's hungry, who sees a Triple G who's 37 years old, there was no hesitation on their part at all. They're very confident. He's been very cooperative, doing all the media events, all the interviews this week. And Steve realizes this is his Andy Ruiz moment. This fight could change his life. If he pulls out a win on Saturday night, it's like night and day for his career. And that's what the fans need to tune in for, either on DAZN or come down here. The tickets start at $50. We priced it very reasonably for the fans to see Triple G's big drama show.
Gennady has a new trainer now, Jonathan Banks. At one point, he was like a son to Abel Sanchez. They were linked, you know, hand in hand. At this point in Gennady's career, a great fighter such as Gennady, it's not really much you could teach him. Have you seen anything new that Jonathan, with no disrespect to him, that he's been able to incorporate into Gennady's repertoire?
I've seen a lot of new things. In his training, in his sparring. I've seen just kind of a new energy for Triple G, someone that's been boxing as long as he has. He had a storied amateur career, has one of the most dominant careers that we've seen, especially as a heavyweight in recent times, clearly the most dominant in recent times. And it's hard to change things. It's hard to, when you're used to that style, or when you're used to being that dominant, you kind of do the same things. But I've seen some changes with Jonathan. I've seen some extra motivation from Triple G. He just had a third baby. That always gives you, look, you're providing for more people now in your family. So his motivation is right there, and I've never seen anyone that trains as hard as Triple G. So I think when you put all those things together, I think you're going to see the same dominant Triple G that we've seen over the last 8 years since he made his U.S. debut over here in the United States, and I think the fans are in for a big treat on Saturday.
All right, Tom, two more questions before we wrap up. Can you comment on what the ticket sales and what the turnout is for the fight so far?
Yeah, the ticket sales is going well. We expect a great turnout for Saturday. Triple G's already sold out Madison Square Garden twice, so we know his popularity here. Steve Rolls might not be as high of a profile, but look, when he fought David Lemieux, David was a champion, but a lot of people didn't know David, also being from Canada. But we'll have a great energy. He always has a great energy when he enters the arena on Saturday night, and I think you'll see a lot of satisfied fans when you have so many fighters that are undefeated being matched up with other undefeated fighters. I mean, that's what puts on a great undercard.
Okay, and last but not least, Tom, the elephant in the room. Andy Ruiz last week scored one of the biggest upsets in boxing history that you could put right alongside Foreman beating Michael Moorer, Hasim Rahman beating Lennox Lewis, and of course Buster Douglas beating Mike Tyson. Any added pressure on Team Golovkin based on what happened last week? Because upsets do happen.
Look, I was there live. That's the biggest upside I've ever seen live. I would probably rate that right there above all the fights that you just said. Look, when Buster Douglas beat Mike Tyson, Buster was in great shape. Andy Ruiz was really, I think, overlooked because of his physique, but people overlooked his heart. He was in Big Bear. He's trained with Gennady for 2 fights, not sparring-wise, but in the same training camps as Gennady. So Gennady sees his tenacity in the training camps. And I don't think it was that big of a surprise for Triple G. It was for me. But when you see someone with that physique go in there, stand toe-to-toe against one of the most chiseled athletes that we've seen, Anthony Joshua has a tremendous physique. I thought really he took his career to a different level when he got up off the canvas from Vladimir Klitschko. We promoted all the Klitschko fights. When Vladimir knocked him down, and AJ got up and threw that uppercut, I mean that was pretty impressive. I really thought he took his career to the next level. Then when you have a setback against a guy like Andy Ruiz, you start thinking, what did he overlook? But you can't underestimate Andy Ruiz. He stood toe-to-toe with Joshua. Joshua knocked him down. He got right back up, kept throwing punches, and Andy Ruiz knocked Joshua down. So he's, I think Andy's got a special talent, and with his hand speed, he was able to chop down the giant. He was basically the giant killer at that point.
Thank you so much for your time, Tom. Best of luck
Always good to see you
on Saturday. Thank you so much.
Radio Rahim, I said hi.
Radio Ra, Mr. Loeffler says what's up.